Right, okay, so I'm going to show you now how to deal with homework questions. So the first question is decide what happens if no buttons are pressed. So if you start at the top and is button A pressed? No. Is button B pressed? No. And the program loops around to start again. Is button A pressed? No. Is button B pressed? No. Now, if you consider this is what will happen when the program flows, is there any output? Well, no. No, we're not showing Y, we're not showing N, we're not actually showing anything. So the program will just keep looping around like this until one of the buttons is pressed. Part B. Describe what happens if just button B is pressed for 5 seconds and then released. Well, if button B is pressed, N is shown. Coming around, is button B still pressed? Yes. Show N. Show N. And that's going to go on as long as button B is pressed. So the answer to that question is show N for 5 seconds. Let's come across to the next question. What would happen if buttons A and B are pressed exactly at the same time? Well, we know what happens when button A is pressed. It shows Y, and we know what happens when button B is pressed. It shows N. But we don't know what happens when both are pressed. There's no condition that's saying is button A plus B pressed. If you did have it, it would be in here as another diamond shape, just at that point. So because it's not there, there's no condition, so it just loops around. Nothing happens, no output. Okay, now it does say improve the design of the program by making a smiley face when no buttons are pressed. Okay, so after the opening animation, right, so I haven't got the opening animation in here, but imagine it's in here at this position. If no buttons are pressed, that's no and no, I need to show a smiley face. Now the best position for that, smiley face. Notice how I've used the right symbol, that's an output. I'm just going to adjust my program and I'm going to put it in here. Now there is a reason I've put it in there. Please don't take too much time, by the way, getting these joined up exactly. As long as you can follow the logic, that's what matters. Now I've put it actually interestingly in the wrong place. This is what someone else did actually. It should actually go here, and I'll explain why. Let's bring that across and let's just extend that one a minute. In fact, I could even just get rid of that and extend this one. That's probably a bit better. And then just join this one down. Right, now, it's important I have it displayed like that. Now, if I'd left it along this line, that basically means when A is pressed, it shows Y and then shows smiley face. Because it's in just the no loop here, this only shows when the no condition is met and when this is a no, then smiley face shows and comes around. As soon as a button is pressed, like A, it shows Y and goes back around to the beginning without interacting with the smiley face. So A, show Y. Yeah, that's going to be okay. Now, as soon as none of the buttons are pressed, smiley face. Yes, okay, that makes sense and that works perfectly. Okay, now the last question. Draw a flowchart for the compass completed. So the last one is, if you have a look at my compass here, you can see after the first setting of the bearing, we then got a number of conditions that are asked about the bearing. And I've covered all 4 directions of the compass. Don't forget in your solution that at the bottom, when none of the conditions are met, you must actually show the blank. So that means the compass will show a blank if it's not pointing to any of the points on the compass.